Well, the first thing we need to do before we begin the machine gun is to actually bake the textures. If we come over here to the texture set settings, we can see that the textures haven't been baked yet. So let's go ahead and click on Bake Mesh Maps. And just like we did before with the vehicle, let's go ahead and go into the ambient occlusion and let's turn on this only same mesh name under self occlusion. And that should be the only thing we really need here. So we can click on this Bake Gun Mesh Maps and make sure, of course, that that gun texture set is selected. So we'll click here and we'll wait. So I'll pause the video and come back when it's all done. All right, it looks like the bake is all done. Let's go ahead and click OK. And here we go. I've got a couple of reference images here behind Substance Painter, and I think we can get some good colors off of this, and this main color here, I think we could use this. So let's go ahead and create a group for that main color. Let me go back to my properties here and pull this down, and let's go ahead and create a group. And let's just call this Gun Main. And if we right click and choose Add Mask with Color Selection, we can pick our color here, and I'll just click this brown for the main part of the gun here. And what we need is a metal, I think. Let's see what we have here. If I search for metal, we've got this steel rust and wear here. We used that on the wheel, didn't we? But what about this steel painted? Let's try this. This looks like it may get us pretty close. Let's drop that on the group. And we need to change the color, so let's go down to our color swatch here and click here. Click and hold on the eyedropper, and let's move over here and see what kind of colors we can find in here. That seems to be a little bit too light. Maybe if I move the eyedropper to here, not bad. How about maybe if I move it to here? Yeah, that to me looks pretty good. Let's try that. And then maybe let's work on the scale. I feel like we could maybe increase the scale a little bit here. Although it looks pretty good. Let me press Shift and right click and drag to move the light around. Yeah, that really doesn't look too bad. But if we go up here and we increase the scale, that may be a little bit too much. Yeah, let's keep it about 1.5. Let's just type in 1.5 and see how that works. Yeah, that's pretty good, I think. All right. What about this post here? Let's work on that. Let me come around here so we can see it a little bit better, and I'll shift and right click and move the light. Here we go, like that. Now let's create a new group. I'll click this one, create a new group on top of it. Let's call this Gun Support, and let's right click and choose color selection, and let's pick this color here. Now let's think about what material we should use for this. I feel like this is somehow a little bit different. And maybe let's try this painted metal here. I feel like there's a little bit more wear and tear on this. So if we use this painted metal, let's try this. I'll click and drag and drop it on the Gun Support folder. All right, that gives us that. I kind of like what's happening there. We've got a bit of wear and rust built in here. I don't know if we need that much rust, but I like what else is happening here. Let's go ahead and deal with the color. Let's come down here to the paint color. Let's click this and click and hold on the eyedropper, and let's move that over this color in the image right here. Well, that's not quite right, huh? How about if we move it over here? Okay, there we're getting a little bit better. That actually looks pretty good. I feel like we could maybe bring it down a little bit darker. Let's click on here and bring that value down just a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty good. So now let's maybe reduce the amount of rust that we have here. I don't think I want that much. I'm just going to click the rust amount and drag it down a bit. There we go. So it's really just more wear and tear rather than rust. So I think that's pretty good. Let's also increase the paint coverage. I want to cover up some of this. Let's grab the paint coverage and move it up just a little bit. See if that helps us. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better. And then how about paint cracks? Let's drag this up quite a bit and see if that does anything for us. That does, but I'm not liking how big they are. Let's go back up to the scale and let's drag the scale up just a little bit. And All right, something like this, and then I'm going to reduce the paint cracks back down just a little bit like this. That may be a little bit too much wear and tear, so I'm going to take the paint coverage back up a hair. And if you're not exactly pleased with the way things are arranged on the object, you can always come over here to this seed and click on random, and it'll just randomize the placement of all the attributes. So if we click this, you can see we get a different layout of the attributes. And now that we've done that, I'm going to bring those paint cracks down just a little bit more. It seems to be a little too much. All right, I'm good with that. Okay, what else do we have here that we could work on? How about this bracket here? Shift, right click, move that around. How about this? So let's create a group for it. I'll collapse these groups, create a new folder. Let's call this, let's just call it bracket. There we go. And for this, it looks like it's kind of a darker material than the post. Well, let's go ahead and select it with the color selection here. We'll pick that color. And it almost looks like we could maybe use that steel rust here and make it a little bit lighter. Let's try that. I'll grab that and drop it here. And then let's come down here and make this a little bit lighter like this. And see if that can work for us. Let's increase the scale here. See if we get any change with that. Not much. I would like to come down here and see if there's any surface imperfections, dirt intensities, things like that. We can give just a little bit of interest to it so it isn't quite all the same. Okay, that looks pretty cool. How about a little bit of rust here as well? Let's drag that up. Yeah, so that gives us just a little bit more interest in there, a little bit more things happening in the material. Okay. How about the ammo box? Let's take a look at that. Once again, I'll create a new group. Let's call this ammo box. And let's add a mask with color selection. Let's pick that color. We got that purple right there. Let's select that. And for the ammo box, I think that's going to be the, let's try, well, we could do that steel painted. Let's try that. Let's drag this over and drop that there. And then let's change our color. I'll click and hold on the eyedropper and come over here and select that. There we go. And then maybe I'd like to drag it down just a little bit in the value, just to make it a little bit darker like this. Yeah, I think something like that would be okay. Do we want to bring up that scale? See if there's any, yeah, something like that maybe. So there's a little bit of variation in there. And then is there anything else we could do to play with this? Well, we've got a rust parameter here, so let's drag that up and see what happens. Just a little bit. Yeah, okay. I know we're not seeing it on there, but I kind of like having a little bit of something here. Maybe bring it down just a bit. Yeah, I kind of like having something there. I'm going to hit random just to see if I can move the rust around. Yeah, I like that. Okay. All right. That's looking pretty good. So in the next video, what let's do is let's continue working on this, getting the ammo box support piece here, as well as this brace and those wood handles back here. So that's coming up next.